Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing something different than thrifting or thrift and flip. I'm going to be showing you all how to make a tote bag. So I'm going to show you all step by step how I made this tote bag and how you can make your own tote bag. It's very easy, beginners friendly. You won't need much. You can use a sewing machine. You can also hand stitch this. So make sure you watch this full video out and you'll see how to make a bag. So here are all the materials you'll need. I use a stabilizer, my own fabric lining, and scissors, rotaries, and measuring tape. So here I am just cutting out some of that stabilizer to use for the base of my bag. So the base of my bag is 10 by 2, but in this video you will see that I did 10 by 4 because I wasn't sure at first how wide I wanted the bag to be, but I cut it down because looking at it from my eye view, I was like, no, I don't want it this wide. So I went ahead and chopped it down 1.5 inches, including seam allowance. So my seam allowance was 1/4 inch, which is like 0.25 of an inch. So now I'm going to be moving on towards cutting out the fabric and measuring out how much I want or how big I want the bag or how long I want the bag. So right here, to make sure it's equal with the base, I did 10 inches wide. And then I did 11 inches long because I wanted to kind of look like it was an equal-sided bag, but it really wasn't. So I did 11 inches long and 10 inches wide. Okay, the reason why I keep bringing the stabilizer over is because I want to make sure that it is equal with the front and back pieces so nothing won't be off. Okay, so right here I am cutting out the base piece, which will be attached to the stabilizer. Okay, so now it is time to mark out the side panels, which will be 11 inches long, like the bag, and then 2 inches wide, like the base. So now I'm hot pressing the base fabric piece to the stabilizer on the adhesive side, just making sure that it is thick and stuck because I didn't really want to sew it on because I just didn't feel like it. And also here I am attaching the side panels right sides together. Make sure it's right sides together for the to the front facing, and then I'm going to sew it together. Make sure you follow the same exact steps for the front and the back and also the other side panel. Right here, as you can see, I am not facing it right sides together. Yes, I messed up and made a mistake. I had to go ahead and use my seam ripper and take it out and start all over. Not start all over, but just flip it to the right side. But make sure you don't make that mistake. All right, so this part may be looking a little bit confusing because in this next clip, the base is already attached, but that is because I did a top stitch on the side walls. As you can see here, it looks a bit more stiff and put together, but that is totally optional. You do not have to do that part. I also did it before adding the base, but I'm gonna show you all how I add the base right here. You want to make sure you're using clamps or something more sturdier than pins because it will hold the base, stabilize it better together. And then you're going to go ahead and stitch that on your sewing machine. Make sure you're taking your time because this is a thicker part to do, like thicker fabric, and the stabilizer is also thick, so make sure you're taking your time with that. All right, now we're going to move on towards handles. So what I did was split the fabric in half and just divide it by 2, how long I wanted it to be. So I wanted it to be 30 inches long, so I divided it by 2. And I got 15, so I'm marking off 15 inches. That's how long it's going to be. And I also did 3 inches wide. It looks like 4, but I did 3, y'all. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark that off and cut it out. In this next clip, I'm going to show you how I make the strap. So I folded it inwards by a 1/2 inch. Then I close it in together. And I go ahead over to my iron to flatten that out before I go ahead and top stitch it on the sewing machine. You want to make sure you top stitch just to enclose it so it won't move or budge. Because after you steam it, that doesn't help it from not moving. So before we do the lining, we're going to go ahead and attach the straps and then sew along each side of the straps onto the bag. Okay, so the lining is the same steps we did with the outer fabric. Cut out 2 fronts and back, 2 side panels, and 1 base. So here I am attaching a pocket to the inside of my bag. I use one of my tags for my brand because I really didn't feel like making a pocket. I was like, no. And this is big enough for an inside pocket for a tote bag. I went ahead and sewed that onto the center of one of the lining pieces, like so. Okay, so after attaching the pocket, you want to go ahead and do the same steps you did in the beginning of the video with the outer shell. Now, for the lining, before you close out the base, you want to make sure you leave a good chunk amount of space open. I think I left about 4 inches open because later on, after you sew the lining onto the shell, you're going to pull the outer shell through the lining, but I'll show you all in the video. Okay, I didn't tell you all that you have to stuff the bag inside the lining. Make sure you get the straps in there as well. And then when you pin on the sides, make sure that the sides are matching each seam. All right, so this is what I was talking about where you had to pull the bag through the lining. So you want to make sure you grab a strap and start there. And then if you feel the base, grab the base and just pull it through. Take your time with this because you do not want to rip the lining and go all the way back and try to sew it again. So just take your time and then push the lining and pull it out. Make sure everything is aligned correctly. All right, guys, so we only have 2 steps left. The first to the last step is sewing that hole closed at the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfect because nobody will see it. And then you're going to push it in and then top stitch around the top of the bag. I did both of these steps off camera, guys. I am so sorry. But really, all you have to do is just top stitch the top of the bag where I'm showing you now. And then you're complete. Thank you all for watching this video towards the end. Make sure you comment below some things or other things you would like to see on this channel. Make sure you like this video and also share it with whoever you think wants to get into sewing. This is an easy and great start to sewing, which is something that you could wear and take with you and show people that, hey, look, you guys, I sewed a bag. So make sure you share this video and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more.